Hello and welcome. So, today I am going to talk about the symbol of the Moroccan hospitality, mint tea. So, mint tea, or according to oral stories, tea was generally first drank by a Chinese doctor. This doctor had a headache, always according to the story. And it was just by accident that he collected tea leaves and boiled them and drank. And that's how and it was a success. So after that, the Chinese doctors started describing or prescribing it as a medicine for headaches, prescribing it for his patients. So, but tea, it was introduced to Morocco in the 18th century by an Englishman, Mr. Wright, Wright. His name is stamped on antique tea trays or teapots. Wright, Wright. The Moroccan people first would drink tea with no sugar, and because it was bitter, so the people while drinking tea, they would also eat dates to make it sweet enough. Nowadays, when we say Moroccan mint tea, we mean the three elements that are mixed together to make this wonderful drink and popular drink of Morocco. So when we say mint tea, we say these three elements, that is to say, Chinese green tea, sugar, and fresh mint. And some people, of course, like me, they'd like always to add some herbs like thyme, absinthe, verbena, rosemary, saffron, and so on and so forth. So I said it's the symbol of hospitality and also the popular drink in Morocco, most of the Moroccan people. So when I say, I am always talking about the people who are still stick to those old traditions, the traditional people. I'm not talking about the modern people, but about the traditional people. Most of them, they are especially from the countryside. So the traditional people, to make tea, actually it's a ceremony itself. Because according to the tradition, the tea maker, he should be a well-chosen person. Most of the time an old man, wise man, a man who knows a lot to tell, because while he is making tea, he has to talk about many subjects, about many things, sometimes telling stories, sometimes jokes, etc., and so on and so forth. And also, especially in ceremonies like weddings or things like that, the one who is chosen to make mint tea should be a person like that, and also he should be very careful, not making any mistake at all, because any small mistake would cost him a lot. Like, for example, inviting all the people there to his own house and preparing a lot of things for them to drink and eat. Most of the time, he is obliged to slaughter a sheep for them. So, he should be very careful. He should be a man who can sit cross-legged. He should, because the people, according to the tradition, they always sit on mats or on carpets. So he should be a man who could sit in that traditional way, cross-legged. And he should not be somebody, for example, while making mint tea, he is stretching his legs or things like that. No, this is forbidden by the tradition, of course, of the people in the countryside. Traditional ones, of course. So, he also should be careful about the number of the glasses, because the number of the glasses should be exactly the number of the guests. Most of the time, plus one glass. So, the number should be exactly the number of the guests plus an extra glass. That extra glass is for the unexpected guest. And he should be, as I said, somebody who knows a lot to tell, because while he is preparing, he should be very careful. He should be patient, because to make mint tea, you are not allowed to make it in a hasty way, as it is today, nowadays in cities or things like that. So tea is prepared by women in the kitchen, you cannot see that, and then they bring it to the guests to drink. But according to the tradition, mint tea should be prepared just in front of the guests. And he should be also be careful about how much sugar he has to put in the teapot. It should not be so sweet, and also it should not be bitter, meaning less sugar, because mint tea, if you just put just a little sugar, it feels a little, or it tastes bitter. So he should be very careful about that. So mint tea, as I said, it's symbol of the Moroccan hospitality, but in ancient times, the people in Morocco, they used it as a means of communication. I tell you an example. For example, if somebody or a family went to ask the hand of a daughter from another family, so the daughter's family, they always prepare mint tea, and because of out of pride, sometimes out of timidity, the daughter's family, they could not say, yes, we accept your son as a future husband for our daughter, nor could they say, no, we refuse, because this is a little bit rude. So that's why in ancient times they used mint tea to say all that. For example, filling all the glass, meaning that they refused, because you know that mint tea is served always hot. So when you serve it, you did not leave a space to carry the glass. So it's not comfortable to carry the glass. So that's why this means no. If they fill just half of the glass, this is the most common way to do it, meaning that they accept it. So it was used also as a means of communication. And according to actually something I heard before from my mother, that mint tea in Morocco, it has two insults. Yes, insults. Sometimes you may call them curses or things like that, but anyway, insults according to the tradition in the countryside. For example, if you go to somebody's house and he makes some mint tea for you, only mint tea, not anything else to eat or to drink, just mint tea. When you come out, you tell your friends, oh, what has he made for me? Only a cup of tea. But if you go to his house and then he prepared a lot of things for you to drink, coffee, a lot of things to eat, tagines and things like that. When you come out, you are not happy again. You say, oh, what has he made for me? Not even a cup of tea. So you see the two insults. If he makes only mint tea, you say, what has he made for me? Only a cup of tea. But if he has made a lot of things for you to eat, to drink and things like that, but no mint tea, you say, oh, what has he made for me? Not even a cup of tea. So this actually, it's all these actually expresses the importance of mint tea in the Moroccan life. Because you know, Moroccan people, especially in the countryside, they drink mint tea many times a day, up till 5 times or more. So you can find it as an important drink in breakfast, after meal, after lunch, and after meal, after dinner. And there is always like something like a tea time, like before, between 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock p.m. So mint tea. Most of the foreign people, when they hear mint tea, they thought it's something that is Moroccan, already prepared or things like that. But it's actually the 3 important elements I talked about. That's the sugar, Chinese green tea, and fresh mint. Personally, I'd like to add some herbs, like the ones I've already talked about. And mint tea for foreigners, especially for non-Arabic speakers, it's very good. It can help you learn Arabic easily, especially for sounds like h, a, h, qad. If you drink it hot, you do like this. And this helps the gluten, so it makes you pronounce these difficult sounds easily. Sometimes I read somewhere, maybe newspaper or things like that. This is also an important information about mint tea, if I would like to add it. It says that the whole universe, the whole globe is represented in the mint tea utensils. For example, to make mint tea, we need a teapot, we need a tea tray, most of the time around tea tray, and then the liquid. So these elements, they represent the globe. Teapot represents the sky. The tray represent, or the glasses, they represent, altogether represent the earth. And how the sky is linked to the earth? It's via rain, the liquid. And to make also mint tea, you have to be careful about making this turban. This, in the desert, the people, they think it helps keep the insects out of the liquid, the tea, the liquid they drink. In some regions, of course, in the desert. For all Moroccans, this is the symbol of good tea. That means that the tea maker has been patient enough. He has taken his time to make tea carefully. And also, while making mint tea, we have to pour out in the glass and pour in the teapot, pour out and in many a time. This makes it have this turban. And also while pouring it, most of the time the teapot should be a little bit higher so that you can hear a sound. According to some anecdotes in the countryside, so the people, they would do that because if somebody is making mint tea in the house just by himself, it's not a good thing. There should be guests, there should be somebody to drink with him and talk, of course, because drinking mint tea without talking, that does not mean anything. So pouring like this, making a sound, this can be heard or could be heard by some people or somebody who is passing just near. He hears that and he understands that tea is served. So without knocking the door, he would come and help drinking tea. So that was about mint tea. That's all about mint tea. So thank you very much for your support, and see you next time. Thank you so much indeed. Shukran.